Hi everyone, let's talk about Paladins of the West Kingdom and its cooperative and solo stuff. Let's just roll it all into one. If you'd like to see the game in action, here is some of the game. You can see a solo playthrough I did and a cooperative playthrough that I've just finished. I'll link those in the description if you'd like to see it in action. This is just about what I think, if you'd like to know that. So, you may have seen on the channel lately that I am on kind of a West Kingdom kick. Well, I was, and now it's it takes a while for things to translate into the videos and stuff. I'm absolutely loving the trilogy, but I'd say that yeah, as much fun as Architect is, and you can see my thoughts on that in the videos that have happened. Paladins is possibly my favorite. It's really close between Paladins and Viscounts, which will be coming up. We'll do the co-op for that at some point soon. So before even the co-op version has come across, so I've only played this, a fair few times now, but I've only played it solo. I've not played it multiplayer yet. So I've just played against the cunning bot that you can see in the live thing that I did. But I love so much about this. I love it uses something I really enjoy in Orlean, even though that's a bag building game and its own thing. But the idea that we've got these boards where if we place a certain combination of workers, it's going to trigger an action. And there are also actions where we can develop and make those actions more efficient and need fewer workers later on. But everything kind of ties into each other. You can see on the player boards, well, this action needs this and will reward this. And so you can get a nice combo going with a couple of them, and it will be great if you can get to the end of some rows to get a load of points, and then hopefully you will have gotten a load of things out there. It just works beautifully and it's not, Orlean has its bag building and stuff, but how you choose these things as well. We have, the tavern cards. There's one more than the number of players, and there's a nice little twist on there in the solo mode as well that you can make the bot take some criminals. As with the West Kingdom games, you've got the choice of getting criminals, but it might come back to bite you in the end because you've got to take suspicion for this. That could be great. It could get you coins, but those coins might trigger an inquisition that's going to gain you a load of debts. But as we've seen in the other games, debts aren't the worst thing because you can do something to. There's plenty of ways of getting rid of them, but also flipping them into positive things as well, flipping them into positive points and then activating workers that will reward you for having flipped them. So there's your choice of those, and then your lovely Paladin deck. I love how this works, that we've got all of these cards that give you a load of different choices. Sometimes it's it's just plain what you need to do based on what you were doing anyway. It's gotten really expensive now, so this thing makes it free. Brilliant. But often it's a really tense decision between the workers that you really want. So you've got a choice of the cards that are left here, and then the workers on your cards. Plus, it's going to boost your stats. Pretty much everything that you do is restricted by how high you are on the attribute tracks for each of the three. And so a temporary boost can be exactly what you need, but also the special ability for the round. As I was saying, and you pick one, and then the beauty is you get to put one at the bottom, might not ever see that again, but one on the top as well. So you can keep kind of putting one back on top of the deck, hoping for it to come out later. If you are going for, say, garrisons a lot, they get progressively more and more expensive in terms of provisions. You might find ways of earning those provisions, but it's great if you've got a few left out there to get the card that gives you free garrisons in a later round, and then you've saved loads and loads and can get all these out and get the big points for them. I like all of the various areas of the game. They're tied to each other in these different ways, but also in how you get the cards. There are two different things competing for all the different areas of the board. So the recruiting townsfolk, it can be that someone just wants the one-off ability and then that card's gone and you're not getting it. Or it could be that they want to grab it so they can get sometimes an instant ability, but mainly to get their permanent ability and stack up on things. Like maybe you want loads of the conspirators to keep getting rid of your suspicion, so you're going to do better in the inquisitions. You want you've got a load of debts and you're going to flip them, so you want a load of debt collectors to try and get these things. Or you just go varied, so you'll get a little bonus with all of the actions that you take. So they're linked together. You've got the garrisons and commissions that share spaces on here. How high you can go up depends on your statistic for either of those actions. But yeah, the spaces are filling up with other players doing those things. So if the easy spaces get filled up, you're going to need those higher stats to be able to get into these places. But then the higher places have the much better abilities of getting 2 workers, of being able to pray and clear out an action, being able to flip those debts. And then you've got the outsiders here who can be attacked, similarly to the townsfolk. They've got just an instant one-off, but you do keep these because it might be important who you attacked. Or you can convert and get a scoring opportunity over the end of the game. And those can really, really mount up to give you loads and loads of points as well. And through some kind of navigation and combination of these things, you're going to work out a path for yourself. And it's just, it's absolutely beautiful. I can imagine the kind of competition that will be. Like the bot is fairly competitive at where he puts his things anyway. But yeah, I think there'll be some fantastic competition for all of these different areas in the competitive game as well. Hopefully, we'll be playing it soonish. But yeah, the solo version, you use the other side of these player boards, and, well, the game's over, isn't it? I need to tidy it up. Let's flip it. It's the other side of these boards, and the bot gets some benefits based on the king's orders. There are some things we need to do that will reward everyone with points for those that have done it over the course of the game. And then we also get these king's favor actions, special actions just for this game, coming out in different orders that will often get you very powerful things, but they are, one and done, so they can be very sought after. But often actions need to come in at the right time, so will the action still be there when you need it? So they get a little benefit for particular actions that might be scoring them points, and that will benefit them more and more as they go along. But they work in a similar way that they are competing for all of these things as well. I think it does an amazing job with not much upkeep of just flipping a card and then going down. Can it do this thing? Yes. If not, it goes down this little flowchart that's built in here until it rests and ends its round. It's so simple, but it is something really great to compete against, as well as all of these solo variants have been. As always, it's got the Miko's art. It looks absolutely beautiful, and yeah, I think it just works fantastically well. It's a bit longer. It's probably the longest of the 3 to play. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, and I should talk about Tomesaga. So Tomesaga is an expansion for the trilogy that made them into one great big campaign, or added co-op modes for each of the games. And so the co-op mode in here, I absolutely love. That, rather than we had the Overlord in, well, the Overlord's still here, but we had the Overlord and his board in Architects, and he was chasing us around trying to arrest us constantly. Here, he's just kind of set out demands. So the King's orders are for us to get our certain attributes to fairly high levels, which you want to do as soon as possible, because by the end of the game, that's going to get harder to do. And then he's going to keep putting these threats out as well that are going to cumulatively do worse and worse things to you, make you keep losing stats or honor or gain suspicion, which will ruin you in the end as well. And by doing these particular actions, you can get rid of those. And it's all about, may not have demonstrated strategically that effectively in the playthrough, but it's all about trying to find some balance between those things as well. Have players that are dedicated to a particular area and being able to do these particular actions. And yeah, do you have to worry about all of these threats? Yeah, it is affecting everyone, but can we cope with that? Are we going too far out of our way to do actions that we aren't geared up for at all? It's still got the kind of engine building, the developing, so you've got more use for your workers as you go on. It's true in the normal game as well. As you go on, you will often do actions that reward you with more workers that can kind of keep you going longer and longer in the round. It's a bit of a reason that the game can go on for a bit longer, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it outstays its welcome. And it's got the cooperation between the two, letting us bend the rules a little bit, that any of the left side actions on our player boards, we can give the effect to another player as well. So while it's going to be harder to get rid of these tasks at higher player counts, I would love to be in like a 4-player game of this, and working out who's going to get the benefit of what, having our dedicated, I'm going to really go for influence, so fortify and absolve are going to be great for me, so I'm going to develop those things, and we'll hope they'll come out on the tasks, so you can spread yourselves out more in your different specialties. But at the same time, there's going to be 5 workers on each of these. You need to do each task 5 times to be able to get rid of the card and stop everyone suffering the thing. And the points penalties are going to get worse and worse. You need 70 points per player to win this thing, so collectively. So losing 8 points per player is massive at 4 players. It's pretty harsh at 2 players. But yeah, you will really want to get rid of those as well. I think it is absolutely fantastic. As I said, it's depending on which day you ask me, it was my favourite of the trilogy. And yeah, I absolutely love it. And if you haven't seen the playthrough yet, hopefully this will convince you to have a watch of it, because I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be back soon with Viscounts to close out the trilogy. Thank you very much for watching this. If you like what I do, tell YouTube and press that thing that looks like this, that thumbs up thing. Yeah, in case you didn't know what this was. It's an in-joke, isn't it? And if you would like to help me make more videos, it's patreon.com/slickerdrips to get to vote on videos and join the Discord, but mainly make all of them happen and get all of the things that allow filming to occur. Thank you very much for watching this, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.